Uh, that was epic. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to the Antopia slash Centricide 7, the final chapter release slash premiere. It turned out well. I thought it would be mixed, but it turned out well. And I like that. That premiere was truly epic, guys. And all the subsequent fan art and fan fiction that came after that was also really, really good. Appreciate that. And I'm glad everyone enjoyed Antopia. That was something that we've worked on for a long time. Kind of started off as a joke, but then as we went deeper and deeper into the idea, we decided to sculpt something more serious out of it while still maintaining that vibe. I looked on Reddit and saw some thematic interpretations of Antopia, and some of you were close, and by close I mean pretty close. So, good job on that. So, I think this is now a good time to kind of go through details on how Antopia came to be. Antopia was conceptualized July 2017 when I was filming a movie with my friend called Oranges 2. And I thought of Antopia just randomly. We were like on set. I was like, oh, I want to make a movie called Antopia. And then I was like, okay, this is genius. I love the title. So then I walked over to Greg's place. And I was like, Greg, we got to make this movie called Antopia. And then Greg said, oh, yeah, sure, I'm down. What is it going to be about? And then I was like, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I have no idea, but I just want to make a movie called Antopia. So then Greg was down, and we walked over to Schnerb's house, and we spent the next whole evening pretty much hashing out the basic plot outline, the script. And Greg was specifically meticulous about some details that I didn't understand why at the time. And now I do. So we wrote the script, and then I wrote most of the script. I wrote maybe like a good 75% of it. But Greg was always a factor in revising certain elements of the script for the better, or at least at the time, what I thought was for the worse. But now, after seeing this whole Centricide thing pan out, it's crazy how intentional a lot of things that he was doing were, and how much they applied to this Centricide series. And now I realize that he wasn't treating Antopia like a standalone film that I originally intended it for it to be, but rather also a part of his epic of some sort, which I didn't know at the time. He was, though. I remember at the time he was hashing out some kind of series, and he was being very vague about it a lot of the time. So, I walked with Greg. I talked to Greg a lot, but even then, he didn't give me a lot of details. Whenever I would try to ask, he would be kind of closed, because I think he was in the midst of hashing these ideas out. And I feel honored that Greg made Antopia part of his Centricide series. It was an unexpected surprise, but for sure a welcome one. And I didn't even know he was going to release it as Centricide 7. Or as part of any film in the Centricide series. But I remember when he started doing the Centricide series, he was making this familiar plot line. And it was familiar in a sense that I remember him hashing a lot of things, a lot of like seemingly strange ideas on our walks. And it's only when the first few episodes of the Centricide series came out that I realized that Antopia was destined for some kind of involvement in the series. And then I realized what Greg was doing was all intentional all along. So a lot of people are asking, like, why is the final chapter, Centricide 7, unlisted? And I asked Greg about it, and he was just a closed book. He wouldn't tell me anything. I don't know why he chose to, I guess I can infer why he decided to make it Centricide 7, but then unlist it and then make another Centricide 7 and then 8. It's because it's not directly correlated, I guess, to the Centricide series, or at least it seems. But as someone who talks to Greg a lot, I can assure you that Antopia is definitely involved in the series a lot, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in the movie as well that are related to the series that I thought were kind of stupid before, but in hindsight, it's actually just genius. The thing about Greg is that the guy is very intentional with a lot of things that seem kind of weird. And throughout all his videos, he has this thesis that is like foggy and kind of ironed out away by, I guess, layers of irony. And it's he has this certain way of expressing his ideas through a lot of parts, and then as soon as he finishes the whole parts, it's like you have that one big idea that's like the sum of the parts. But they're very, as I said before, they're very foggy and kind of hard to construct together. So in the process, you're not going to actually see the idea. I don't even know what the idea is, but I can see it kind of evolving through his material and by being and by talking to him. And the same way that Hegel wrote the Phenomenology of Spirit as a book that you have to read from the beginning to end to actually fully understand the point that he's trying to make, I think through the interactions of his Centricide characters, he creates something new, a new dialectical form of reasoning that I'm going to call Dragorian dialectics. And it's just a bunch of parts that come together in a very ironic way all together to create this one big, massive idea that he's he's keen on. So the thing I find fascinating is, so everyone asks Greg, "Hey Greg, what is your ideology?" And Greg obviously knows his stuff. He thinks about every single thing that he deals with a bit too far, even. So, and with this political content, I feel like everything he does is incredibly intentional, as was his efforts with Antopia. So it seems to me that his ideology is being expressed in every single video. See, in every single video he makes, there's a layer of, I guess, just what the actual content is, and that can include irony, right? But beneath that, there's a meta layer that can't be shown on its own. It's transparent. But if you take all of his videos that he's made and combine them, then you're going to get a more concrete understanding of this meta I'm talking about. And in each video, he expresses his ideology as a part that when you take all these videos together will express the whole, his entire ideology. And I think it's fascinating what he's doing with the Centricide series. He's playing all these characters that are extremists and are parts of often overlooked ideologies. And so he's not afraid of peering into any part of the political spectrum. Certainly not just be inside the Overton window. Anyways, I'm theorizing a little bit too much right now, but I also know more than I can say. But let's just say that if you think that Dreg is cryptic now, you guys are in for a wild ride. Anyways, back on track to Antopia. So with it becoming more of a success than I envisioned, I think maybe a spinoff would be in order. What do you say, Jerry? Absolutely.